marriage has traditionally been between a man and a woman and provide a balance in family laws. Why we should change this to include same-sex couples when it could disrupt long-established values and structures?
Fair and open society. You have, would like to say something about fair and open society. Would it bring about fair and open society?
How sure are you that legalizing same-sex marriage here in Philippines is effective? But according to your claim that in United States it is effective there. Since if that country is progressive country, do you think that that Philippines is a progressive country too that make the legalization of same-sex marriage effective?
If we also want to prosper as a nation, then we should also learn to be open to changes.
We should acknowledge everyone whether they are here or not. Since our country is a democratic country, we should vote whether to legalize same-sex marriage before making it legalized.
So you're saying that
Just like there was the social survey, the social level, there was statistics provided that
But according to the WS, 51% disapprove that legalizing same-sex marriage.
but 79% of Filipinos agree that gay, lesbian, or just as trustworthy as any other citizens. And why do you think that people that gay or lesbian should also have the right to marry the person they love?
Because there are some cultural and religious views that must not be violated since our country is influenced by it. Changing it will be such a long process rather than I should make a new step for it.
I think legalizing same-sex marriage is not really changing the whole process in the Philippines. It's just implying a new law for people to marry the person they want to live with.
okay, your claim.
Marriage as a heterosexual union has historically shaped cultural expectation and family roles, promoting social stability and redefining it to include same-sex couples, breaking these established values and roles.
Okay. So that's your claim. What are your evidences? What's your claim again?
Culturally and historically, marriage has long been understood as a heterosexual union across societies worldwide. This traditional view of marriage plays a central role in shaping our cultural expectations, influencing family roles, and reinforcing values that contribute to the stability of societies. By defining marriage as a bond specifically between a man and a woman, cultures have established clear social rules for men and women in the family. This structure reinforces the importance of each genders contributes to family life, supporting a balanced environment for raising children and promoting values that maintain social connection. Legalizing same-sex marriage will lead to a series of unintended cultural consequences. Changing the definition of marriage can weaken the values historically associated with it, potentially altering established gender roles and expectations in families. For instance, many opponents argue that the same-sex family structure does not support the distinct contributions traditionally provided by a mother and father, which they see as essential for children's development. However, these roles could also disrupt the social order by diminishing the significance of gender in family structures, leading to a shift in how society views and the roles of men and women, both within the home and beyond. In essence, some argue that the defining marriage to include same-sex couples weakens the institution by disconnecting it from its cultural and historical roots. Like in the Philippines, we see Philippines is the most Catholic country, which, yeah, for some reasons, many people adopt, or many Filipinos adopt that both women and men should be married, not same genders or same sexes. They believe that changing this definition could reveal the social fabric that blinds families and communities.
Okay, so present cite also the reference that we got from those documents.
Well, it's partly from our research and an interview by Rick Santor. And he emphasizes also that marriage is a public institution reflecting the cultural and moral standards, arguing that a same-sex marriage undermines this by defining its purpose and meaning, potentially diluting cultural values related to family stability and societal continuity.
Okay, are there things? Yes, rebut?
How can you be so sure that heterosexual parents can produce a child on their own when in fact few parents are having a hard time producing a child because either the guy or the woman is infertile and opt to adoption or surrogation? Marriage is not solely about having children. It's about love, commitment, and building a life together. While many couples have children naturally, others face infertility, affecting 15% of reproductive age couples globally, according to the WHO term adoption or surrogacy. Same-sex couples also create families through adoption, with studies showing that children raised by same-sex parents develop just as well as those raised by heterosexual parents. Research from American Academy of Pediatrics reported that their social and academic outcomes are similar. Marriage ultimately is about the bond between two people. Studies from UCLA also show that legalizing same-sex marriage improves mental health by reducing stigma. This pair therefore allows same-sex couples equal respect and rights in marriage as heterosexual couples.
Well, as you said about adoption, well, how can you make both same-sex marriage? How can you make someone pregnant if they are both same-sex marriage? How can they adopt if there is no man and woman who is married or who is been dead by for some reasons and got just adopted by the institution like disability like that? How can you adopt someone if there's no family before?
Though in the Philippines, if you have a partner, you can adopt a child, or even if you would say that, how can a person or with same-sex couples get pregnant? Well, the process of surrogacy or pregnanting other opposite sex could produce you a child of your own.
Sagot ka na, bro. Sagot ka na. Like, mahimong kang surrogate mother.
Quiet.
Challenges that the child will challenge if their parents are both same-sex marriage. Since our country has several.
Nervous na sila.
Parents are both the same sex.
What do you think will happen to the children?
No, it depends on the environment of the children itself, of the child itself. Because, as I've said, same-sex couples also create families through adoption. With studies showing that children raised by same-sex parents develop just as well as those raised by heterosexual parents.
We're speaking here about the Philippines.
Yes.
Quiet.
Philippines is one of the United Nations and 30% of LGBT people in the Philippines reported workplace harassment or discrimination based on their sexual orientation, gender identity, or sex characteristics. So,
how would they raise their children?
As I've said, those with same-sex couples also raise child as well as those with heterosexual parents.
But in their workplace, they are being harassed, discriminated by their employees, which was
You're talking about the parents.
no, marriage.
Because you're stating that the person is at work.
How about they raise their child if their parents is having trouble at work? How do you think that a child grows at orphanage raised by two gay both gender being discriminated at work then being discriminated the parents is being harassed and it can cause their mental illness.
Not just because of gays. Other people like us, straights, actually get harassed too. And what you're saying is that technically they are discriminated, and that gets to their system mentally. But that depends on
Based on some research, that the statistics kami, 7 million plus are part of LGBTQ. You think, opening ko kalkyo. 7 million divide 35.
Lagi gamitan ng kalkyo!
Filipino is being harassed at their workplace. Do you think that is good to our country?
LGBTQ is the only
Minority.
yes, it's the only minority that Filipinos are not only LGBTQ members but also normal people are harassed in various workplaces in the Philippines. Give me some research. One of the idea of equality when it comes to the same-sex marriage. And I understand the appeal, okay? But we also need to think about the bigger picture, about the impact on the society as a whole. We know that children thrive best in traditional family setting, right?
Yeah.
Yes. With a mom and a dad. It's not about judging anyone, but research shows that kids raised in this traditional tend to have better social and emotional outcomes. But still then, those children that live in LGBTQ families tend to have a much better or even greater life than those living in traditional families with a mom and a dad. Technically, you cannot say that a child is happy in a traditional family setting, since some children nowadays tend to not have the luxury of having a great family. The bond they have, the commitment, and the shared overall feelings. You know, You should not state that an LGBTQ member of our society can easily get discriminated and it tend to easily get mentally appealed by what others say. A person has their own feelings, you know, and LGBTQ members also has their own mentality. They have, you might be stating based on your own stats on what you have researched, but for me, as I have experience, technically, for me, as I have experience, I have met a lot of LGBTQ members, and for me, they have their own children, right? By adoption. Those persons are no. Those persons have a great family. You know why? Because people who discriminate them, those people are just nothing to them. Because they themselves have their own understanding of what they are and what they are capable of doing in this country. You know, some in the Philippines, Barangay Tamakan, the Barangay Tamakan was not the place that is used to be, because that place would not have become such a wonderful place without the LGBTQ kagawad of that particular barangay. You know what I'm saying is that you cannot judge a person's mentality based on how they are discriminated by others. Okay?
Claim one, done. Done and doing done. Okay, claim two.
Denying same-sex couples the right to marry is discriminatory and violates their fundamental human rights. Marriage itself is a broad term. You cannot only say that marriage is only limited for a man and a woman. Marriage refers to a bond, commitment, and devotion of a person to another person, regardless of their gender. In the United States, the Supreme Court of the United States in overexcelled its laws rules that the right to marry is a fundamental right protected by the 14th Amendment, and denying this right to same-sex couple is a violation of their equal protection clause. Beyond rights, marriage is essential for personal autonomy, happiness, and pursuit of life goals. The ACLU argues that denying same-sex couples the right to marry deprives them of essential legal benefits enjoyed by other committed couples, such as pension, health insurance, and inheritance rights. Furthermore, a more inclusive definition of marriage encompassing all forms of committed relationships aligns with the principle of equal protection under the law, as argued by Elizabeth Milgram's Sanctuary of Rights. Imagine two individuals deeply in love, denied the legal recognition and benefits of marriage simply because the relationship doesn't fit traditional norms. This highlights the need for a more inclusive definition that values all committed relationships.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so unang questions, rebata for claim 5. Again daw.
Sorry niya. Hindi mo kaya mo rin.
So, denying same-sex couple the right to marry is not only discriminatory, but also violates their human rights.
Human rights na?
Yes.
Pumuntai ka.
Legalizing same-sex marriage would reduce discrimination and promote inclusiveness.
Next na ma'am.
Ay, wait lang. Well, according to say human rights, so it's basically human rights. So each of us is a human rights. So, well, it's not about same-sex marriage. So, by marriage, it's defined as both man and woman. So to be respected, the same-sex marriage should not be called as same-sex marriage. It should be another proper word rather than marriage, because marriage is stable, traditionally and culturally evolving about commitment and love. So it should not be used in the same-sex marriage because it redefines all of the things that works through history. And as a matter of fact, marriage should not be used in the same-sex marriage, as I said. And it's supposed to be what I could agree is that same sex should have another proper term for marriage. Just don't use the word marriage, because marriage is used only for both men and women. And it depends on same-sex marriage.
Why do they deserve another word for marriage even though we were, as you said, we have human rights, we're more equal?
Well, marriage is just a label.
Then why are same-sex couples married? Why are other couples with same-sex married through the process of marriage?
Boom!
And theoretically speaking, there is no single universal definition of marriage that has been universally accepted throughout history or across cultures. So technically, based and scientifically, marriage is the definition of the bond commitment of one person to another person. It will say man and woman. Did it even state that? No. That is just stated by our culture alone. And you know, there is the thing called cultural change. Boom! Sorry. And really,
But then, according to the Family Code of the Philippines, marriage is a special contract between a man and a woman under a establish conjugal and family bond.
and are you stating that LGBTQ marriage cannot have a wonderful bond? You're stating that it is only in opposite sex marriage that the bond that they have is different. No, technically, marriage is the bond of person to person. Yes, that is true. But technically, marriage is just a definition. There is no like particularly speaking, there is no single definition of marriage, as I said earlier. So technically, the definition of marriage is evolved over time, reflecting changes in societal values and legal frameworks. So, our country stated that marriage should be a man and woman, right? But even then, cultures can change, rules can change, laws can also change. So why not? LGBTQ same-sex marriage can also change and make that as a norm.
Should not we consider the significant challenges that the Philippine currently faces? For example, we currently faces poverty, education problems. Do you think that same-sex marriage is a higher priority than that?
That's the thing that I'm speaking, okay? Why worry about same-sex marriage when the Philippines has other concerns? You know?
What you're telling is do not legalize same-sex marriage.
Yes!
Philippines is currently facing a poverty and I said that Philippines is currently facing significant challenges such as poverty and education. And you agree that it should be at the lower priority, that poverty and education should be at the highest priority. Philippines is currently facing many challenges such as poverty and education. Same-sex marriage must be at the lower priority than education and poverty or other
Well,
things.
legalizing same-sex marriage doesn't mean it should be prioritized. It's just that it should be a law or implemented just to give those LGBT people the rights and the freedom they want to have.
LGBTQ+ people in the Philippines face significant struggles due to lack of national anti-discrimination laws. According to activist Irish Innovator, SOGIE Equality Bill to pass after 20 years. Individuals without legal protection against harassment and discrimination.
Mind blown.
Okay, state now your claim. Listen up.
Biyak dito na. Biyak dito kay.
While some same-sex marriage as a basic human right, we need to think about how it might affect society. The LGBTQ+ community already faces a lot of discrimination, and legalizing same-sex marriage might make things even harder for them. People who strongly disagree with these changes might opt out, creating more problems for same-sex couples and making them feel unsafe. According to a United Nations study, 30% of LGBTQIA people in the Philippines reported workplace harassment and discrimination based on their sexual orientation, gender identity, or sex characteristics. The highest rate among the three countries studied. China is 21%, Thailand is 23%, which is Philippines is still higher with 7% among them. LGBTQ+ people in the Philippines face significant struggle due to the lack of national anti-discrimination laws. According to activist Irish Innovator, despite local ordinances in some cities, the failure of the SOGIE Equality Bill to pass after 20 years leaves 80% of LGBTQ individuals experience adverse childhood like abuse and household trauma compared to 64% of heterosexuals, leading to worse mental health in adulthood and underscoring the served impact of discrimination. Also, expecting that the government to fully protect same-sex couples could be challenging. Our country has big problem like poverty, unemployment, and healthcare issues that are already difficult to manage. Since many people have strong religious and cultural beliefs about marriage, it would be hard to expect everyone to suddenly change their views. Right now, changing marriage law might not be the top priority for the country. Yeah. We understand that some same-gender couples deeply wish to formalize their commitment. However, considering the current state of our country, the Philippines, It may be more practical to take steps that gradually build acceptance rather than risking conflict by enforcing a sudden change, working towards solutions that respect both LGBTQ plus rights and the cultural values of our society allow us to move forward in a way that fosters understanding and harmony. This approach not only helps protect the well-being of same-gender couples, also respects the belief and traditions that many Filipino hold dear. Okay?
In the Philippines, where family values and remote big significance, it's tempting to rely on statistics to justify or oppose same-sex marriage. However, reducing such a fundamental human right to mere numbers ignores the very essence of love, commitment, and the pursuit of happiness. Statistics cannot quantify the profound impact that legal recognition of same-sex relationships would have on Filipino LGBTQ plus individuals and their families. It's not about achieving a certain outcome. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of all Filipinos, regardless of their sexual orientation. Denying someone the right to marry based on statistical argument is akin to saying that some Filipinos are less deserving of happiness or fulfillment than others. This is a dangerous and unjust approach that undermines the very foundation of a just and equitable society.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Johnson. I think you misheard what I said. I said about those just said
Yun ba you stated the other percentage of China and others? Chill, bro.
according to a United Nations study, 30% of LGBTQ plus people in the Philippines reported workplace harassment or discrimination. Wala, I didn't say na. Wala kang
Yes,
ban.
but still, that stated statistics based on the results. You know?
Statistics of being abused, boy.
Yeah, I know that. But why did you not state why did you not include the straight harassment in the Philippines? There are more harassment of straight people in the Philippines than LGBTQ members.
Statistics. How about your statistics?
Statistics doesn't define love. You know? Statistics doesn't define love. You love someone, right?
No,
It doesn't signify
it doesn't mean love now.
No,
No, it's just said this.
Yes.
I think I just need to
It does not have a proof about the relationship, a straight relationship. And you mentioned about the percentage, and you have a proof as to where you got that from. Okay, that's his question. Alright, so are we done with claim 2? Okay, claim 3. Okay, so this time we move to speaker 1.
Summary of all counterclaims.
Speaker 1 with the summary of the counterclaims and then your refutation. What did they say a while ago and then you review. One by one.
You have rebuttal about how is it affected the Philippines?
You will find my spectrum.
Should we continue this? Just state their claims. And then you refute it. That they are wrong because of your reasons. Yes.
You are wrong because
According
so may nasa balik sila.
same-sex marriage shouldn't be allowed because of cultural and religious beliefs and tradition, right?
What is your culture and tradition? What is your culture? I don't know what it means. Somebody else also
IDK.
so summarize sila
Just
sa
have to summarize what they have said. And then you be able to summarize ang duda, then you prove them wrong. And that's the whole, in general. In general, based on what they mentioned a while ago as the claims, and then you prove them wrong based on your claims as well.
So you say that your parking claims are cultural and religious beliefs, traditions, and you think that same-sex marriage promotes social instability, possibly weaken social stability, because it is not heterosexual couples. How are they any different? Weakens the values and family system in order of family because they are not man and a woman. How they would have a child if they are not same sex, if they are same sex, and it affects on the child and here in the Philippines. The discrimination in the workplace, man and same-sex marriage, man and woman. Same-sex couples should have other words for their marriage. There are other problems that the Philippines should be prioritizing other than same-sex marriage. How it affects our society, and legalizing it makes LGBTQ individuals more discriminated and right? So, based here, culture and religious traditions for the same-sex marriage shouldn't be, according to you, that same-sex marriage shouldn't be legal because of culture and religious beliefs and traditions.
sila doon ako Mindana.
Every people, we are all born with equality, right? So, we should have our own taste, our own opinion, our own decisions in ourselves. How we feel, how we are sexually oriented, who we love so much. Doesn't matter if culture and religious beliefs is about. Basically, what I'm saying is that there are different cultural, religious beliefs, and there are different traditions. So we may not align, but at the end of the day, we are still capable of making our own decisions, our own what makes us us. And possibly we can, because it is not heterosexual people a union for their marriage. I think this is possibly wrong because same-sex couples are capable of producing their own, and raising their own child, even if they are not same gender. Because also straight couples also tend to have these problems also. So it is not just the same-sex marriage couples, but also those heterosexual couples. Because the values of families, if they are teach properly the values of family, there will be no problems such as the heterosexual couples. And another thing is how to have a child if they have a same-sex gender. I believe they can have a child through surrogate or adoption. And the disruption of the family because they do not have a man and a woman. Again, as I stated before, the same-sex gender can raise a child even if they are not a man and a woman. Discrimination in the workplace. I don't advocate it. discrimination in workplace?
For example, same gender, ang ng anak ko,
How does it affect their how does it affect your child if there are when is it
I'm saying is about the workplace, about how they raise the child. No, not the child. But still, that child is not
I believe that same-sex couples can raise their child their own equally as heterosexual couples.
Hindi daw mabunggan. Siya ay kanal man tas na
Okay, there's no longer discrimination. While some countries have legalized same-sex marriage, it's important to consider cultural differences. Every society has its own way of conditions, values, and rules of marriage. Countries like the Philippines, where family cultural norms are deeply rooted in tradition, changing the definition of marriage can have conditions rather than foster unity. We need to be mindful of potential long-term effects on sexual passion, especially in where relations play a significant role in shaping life. Alright, final say. Goodbye. Some studies do suggest that children in same-sex households can do well, but there are still concerns about the unique challenges these children may face. For example, children raised in same-sex marriage households might experience socially not or have a more difficult time with each other to understand the relationship effect their development. There is a difficult family model with both mother and father as providing a balanced environment for raising children, which is why one of the main steps children benefit most when raised by both the mother and father. They provide confidence and perspective essential for well-rounded development. While it's acknowledged that same-sex couples can also stable and loving homes, opponents contend that these households may lack of parental influences that cause children understand gender roles and relationships, essentially the community
Speaker 5.
So, listen everyone. Imagine a world where love is celebrated and all committed relationships are valued equally. Imagine a world where two individuals deeply in love can choose to build a life together, securing the legal recognition and benefits of marriage without facing discrimination or societal prejudice. This is the vision we strive for. A vision where the institution of marriage is not defined by outdated notions of procreations or traditional norms, but by the fundamental human rights to love and commitment. It's time to ask ourselves, if marriage is truly about love, commitment, and building a life together, why should the state have the power to decide which relationships are worthy of these fundamental rights? Why should we deny individuals the opportunity to achieve personal fulfillment, happiness, and stability through the institution of marriage, simply because their love doesn't conform to a narrow definition? The time has come to embrace a more inclusive and compassionate society, one where love is celebrated and all committed relationships are valued equally, where a society that champions individual freedom in the pursuit of happiness. Yet we continue to uphold a system that denies these fundamental rights to a significant portion of our population. Is this truly the legacy we want to leave behind? Or is it time to embrace a more inclusive and compassionate vision of love and commitment? One that truly recognizes the inherent worth and dignity of all the individuals in this particular world, regardless of their sexual orientation. The legalization of same-sex marriage is not simply about granting legal rights. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of all the individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation. It's about creating a society where love, commitment, and the pursuit of happiness are celebrated for all.
While many see legalizing same-sex marriage as a step toward equal rights, it brings significant challenges to our long-standing social and familial structure. Maintaining marriage as a union between a man and a woman supports important cultural values and social stability. Redefining marriage, especially regarding parental rights and adoption, raises concerns about the children's development and family dynamics. Some worry that without the balanced influence of both the mother and the father, children might miss out on essential aspects of upbringing. Moreover, legalizing same-sex marriage might increase societal tensions and put more strain on government resources, which are already stretched thin by issues like poverty and healthcare. Additionally, there are fears that same-sex couples could face increased discrimination and violence, making their lives more difficult. Therefore, here comes the gradual approach that respects both LGBTQ+ rights and cultural values is essential to ensure harmony and stability in society. As what Mr. Nadia stated, that there should be a correct term rather than marriage. While same-sex marriage is a highly debated issue in many countries, including the Philippines, advocating for the legal
Sorry to say
recognition
that it's okay for same-sex marriage as long as people with same sex will marry as long as they will not use the term marriage.
there is some sort of advocating for the legal recognition of civil union would be a more practical and respectful solution to addressing the legal needs of same-sex couples. Civil unions offer many of the same legal benefits as marriage, such as inheritance rights, healthcare access, and tax advantages without requiring a change to the traditional and religious definition of marriage. It's in a predominantly Catholic country where marriage is deeply tied to religious beliefs. A legal framework for civil union would provide the balanced solution granting same-sex marriage, same-sex couples, legal protection while respecting cultural and religious values. This way, we can work towards solutions that protect the well-being of same-sex couples while also respecting the deeply held beliefs and traditions that many Filipinos hold dear without violating.
Okay, so what is now your final message to the community? Okay. Your own words. Do not look at your camera. So what is now your final message or call to action to the community? Your own words. Okay, based on your claim. Oh. Yes.
So I think that's why we should, the same-sex marriage should be legalized so that we should lessen discrimination. And once that will be implemented, by then we would think of it as the norm because we would be open to changes and progress as a society.
Okay, what about you?
I say so. We should suggest we should promote the civil union rights, where it's not the term used, it's not the word marriage is used.
So you're saying that it's okay to marry? Are you saying that it's okay to marry with a different same sex as long as you will change the term of the
Instead of marriage, it should be called
what's your message to your classmates now? Okay, bye now. Your message to your classmates. Yeah. Applicable to them. Five, four,
Ito kayo, tukan ko ma'am. Panis. Trust me guys, civil union is not enough. It should be federal because civil union.
So what is not enough for louder? Because civil union only identifies couples as a state. It does not identify them as legally. It is not enough because some civil union married same-sex couples does not have the same benefits as married couples. That's why we should legalize same-sex marriage so that these same-sex couples should have same rights as heterosexual married couples.
We see everyone as equal, right? So we should legalize civil union since it doesn't violate any religious and cultural values. But as what you said earlier, it doesn't have enough benefits such as the marriage we should also consider those who oppose it.
Okay, best speaker on the side is who's our best speaker? Okay, best speaker on this side. Okay, let's give the two groups a round of applause.